Hello everyone, this is Zeeebo and welcome to this AFK journey video. So in this AFK journey video, Harak has just been released. So let's just run through his kit and talk about how good he is. Potentially also pulling for one copy of him and playtesting him and showcase to you guys how he works. Okay, so first of all, Vicious Bite. Harak launches a Vicious Assault, striking an enemy 10 times, each dealing 60% damage, and each strike also deals extra damage equals to 6% of the enemy's lost HP up to 120% of Harak's attack. Okay, the final strike deals 200% damage and knocks the enemy down, so there's a little bit of control. While casting this skill, he remains unaffected, so he can't be interrupted when he's using the skill, and prevents the enemy from recovering HP for 6 seconds while causing them to lose HP per second as well. Okay, so anti-sustain, massive amounts of damage against like bosses or units with a lot of HP. Anti-tank as well, because extra damage equals to 6% of the enemy's lost HP. Although it's limited by his attack, but usually I think his attack should be quite high, so like this damage is definitely scalable. So increase in level increases the damage output, so that is ultimate number 1. Now for second skill, Tidal Assault, Harak dives beneath the surface, swiftly reaching the weakest enemy, dealing damage and knocking them 1 tile back. So another knockback together with control, right? Knockback and knockdown in ultimate and Tidal Assault. While underwater, Harak is invincible and each assist or defeat resets Tidal Assault's cooldown. Okay, so this skill has a 15-second cooldown. 15 seconds is actually quite long, to be really honest, but then there's this ability to reset it. So one thing I want to test is whether or not the skills reset on itself is active when he's above water, because right here is written as while underwater, Harak is invincible and each assist or defeat resets Tidal Assault's cooldown. So let's say if he's above water, does this skill reset when you assist or defeat an enemy? That's something that I'm interested to know, so we will try to test later. And then we have Flash Feast. So a passive, Harak enters Feast mode when a battle starts, increasing crit by 35 and haste by 50. Okay, so it's incredible self buff for 12 seconds. Assisting and defeating an unit resets the duration of Feast mode. Okay. Okay, so there is a possibility that you can actually be permanently in Flash Feast, right? Because if you take a look at this, right, upon exiting Feast mode, Harak loses control and indiscriminately devours the weakest non-summon unit, whether ally or enemy, instantly defeating them. During this time, he's unaffected. Harak cannot devour an enemy whose HP exceeds 200% of his own attack, so increase in levels increases the crit granted by Feast mode. So one thing that I'm actually curious about is, so now let's say if you are in Feast mode, after 12 seconds, once you exit it, and you eat up one of your own ally, that's considered defeating a unit, right? So will that allow him to enter the Feast mode? That is definitely something that we need to test, because this skill is incredible. Increasing crit and 50 haste is nothing to be scoffed at, because if you take a look at like one of the strongest support unit in the game right now, for example, we take Smokey, right? Smokey has a haste buff. So if you take a look at this, right, 30 haste is really so incredible. Although this is a team buff, but 50 haste on himself and additional crit, he's probably gonna like carry the team on his own if like this skill is able to be permanently up within the battle itself. So we shall see whether or not this downside of eating potentially your own ally is gonna be crazy, because you just instantly defeat the enemy or ally. So what if, right, you eat up Torrent, you just defeat them and they can't come back, right? What if you eat up Tasi, they can't revive? That will be also really incredible. So those are the few things that are really exciting for Harak. We shall see how it works, but we were gonna test him out with 1 copy later on. And then where Hero Focus increases life drain during battle. Each time he assists or defeats an enemy, gains 1 extra life drain up to maximum of 4. So further increase in level, upwards to about 24 life drain. Okay, so I mean he's a warrior character, so life drain as well as the ability to be invincible and unaffected, and also get this haste buff and crit buff is gonna keep his sustain up. So one of the biggest problems with a lot of warriors or rogue characters is that they don't have a lot of sustain. So I think for Harak's case, his sustain comes in the form of Tidal Assault as well as increased life drain and also the unaffected from the skill itself, because life drain allows him to get some HP back from the skills. So these are the few defensive mechanics. Now let's go into the EX weapon skill. Ravenous Digestion. Upon defeating or assisting a unit, Harak gains 60% of their attack and 60% of their max HP, up to 220% of his base attack and 220% of his max HP. Okay, levering to level 4 of this EX weapon recovers HP when assisting or defeating a unit, with the recovery amount equal to 50% of the defeated unit's max HP. Oh my god, okay, this is crazy. Okay, first of all, upon assisting or defeating a unit, it applies when you eat your own unit with the third skill itself. So I'll say, like, in a lot of cases, you can actually proc this initially, right? So what I thought initially when I read his skill in the story preview is that assisting or defeating a unit, right, it's like there's no way for you to proc it easily, because in like a PvP setting, right, it might take a while for you to proc this skill. But right here, he has this massive buff at the start of battle, and even if you don't kill people at the start, there is a possibility that once he exits the feast mode, he will be able to at least devour your own unit to proc all the different stuff within his kit itself. Like right here, there's this assist or defeat, right? There's this assist or defeat. So this additional assist or defeat is gonna buff him to be this mega carry. So like obviously you want to defeat the enemies, right? And get their stats and buff Harak so that you still have your allies. But at the same time, if let's say you don't defeat the enemy fast enough, you can still defeat your own ally to hyper buff Harak. So it's crazy. Yeah, you can get like 2.6 times of his own stats, which is like, oh my god, he's gonna be like this solo mega carry character. Recover HP when assisting or defeating a unit. So like this recovery in terms of HP is gonna keep the sustain going. So yeah, it's gonna solve like some of the warrior sustain problem. And then we go into the enhanced force. Upon assisting or defeating 2 units, he recovers energy from casting Vicious Bite. Okay. So like self-sustain, it's like self-buffing. It's a literal shark eating up his own allies and then buffing himself to be the mega killer. Very, very fitting of the shark theme. So without further ado, I don't have that many Stargaze Op, but we did get 10 free Stargaze Op yesterday from the Game of the Year notice. So we have 13 Stargaze Op here. We are 15 away from PT. So we'll try our best to get him within this 13 pools over here. Okay, so if I don't get it, I think I still have enough guild coins to just get 1 copy of him for a little bit of play testing for you guys. Okay, so without further ado, let's go. 10 Stargaze Op. Can we get it? Full power! We're gonna get it. We're gonna get it. Are we gonna get it? Oh no! Okay. There's still a chance. There's still a chance. There's still a chance. So usually I usually get it in like the first tempo on this account. Oh! Oh, we beat the PD, guys! Da, da, da. You look absolutely delicious. Okay. So we have 1 copy for playtesting. So we'll do some like minimal playtesting first to see how this character works. And then, right, for those of you guys who are interested in more testing, I'll always be uploading the 1 copy testing later on. So stay tuned. So we're going to upgrade all our characters first. So I was working my Fresto up in terms of the tiers itself. But I look at Harak and I think that this character could be really, really broken. Because like, yeah, the ability to buff himself is crazy. So right here, we're going to take a look at what he does. So we're just going to put him here. We have the factional talent stuff. So let's put him here, I guess. Okay, so I'm going to put frontline spell. Because he's going to go in front and he's going to proc the buff. Okay, wait, not really. Only him, right? So I guess we'll go with Verdant for this one. Let's take a look at this one, how it works. Okay. So he dives. This is his Tidal Assault. Okay, he gets the Feast mode. So you see the purple aura around him. He has the Haze buff, Crit buff. Okay. So he dives once again and he's invincible. Okay. Ultimate. So he's unaffected when he uses the skill. Okay. He survives quite well, to be honest, considering that he's only at 1 copy. I think he can survive really well just off like like his like built-in kit itself, right? With all the invincible, with all the lifesteal. This is one copy Harak, by the way. So he doesn't have like all the lifesteal buff as well as the stat boost from defeating an enemy. Okay, and we are deficit pushing with this stage, so I'm gonna try to use him in the Mauler comp and give it a try. So let's just try him in the Mauler comp instead. So we have this. We're gonna put Mikola in. Okay, so let's try him in the Mauler comp and see how it works. So we're gonna use frontline spell, because our frontline spell together in melee team is gonna be incredible. So let's go. Okay, dives to the weakest enemy. So feast mode is 12 seconds. He should actually get his feast mode down in about 1 to 2 seconds more. Okay, dive. Okay. Did he devour somebody? Okay, this is the ultimate animation. Oh wow, okay, this is a really nice ultimate animation. And when he's casting, he's unaffected. So it's like, I'm gonna take you one-on-one kind of thing. Although he's lacking a little bit on damage because of the lack of tears. Okay. Okay, so now we defeated somebody, and then the moment we defeated somebody, he enters the feast mode once again. So for the feast mode as well as the tidal assault, I think the skill, right, gets procced the moment somebody gets defeated, whether or not he's underwater or above water. Okay, dives. Pretty impressive, to be honest, because usually, right, when we think about a warrior unit or a rogue unit, when we are using them for deficit pushes, they actually die really early. But if you take a look at him, he's surviving that well, quite well. But the thing is, like, he's lacking damage for sure, because we are missing his EX weapon skill, and we are missing quite a bit of stats. Okay, but we have a good look on his kit itself. So I guess that's pretty much it on the PvE side, because the massive deficit is a little bit too much for one copy Harak. Let's go to the Dream Realm side, okay, and see how it works out. Okay, so for the Dream Realm side, we are going to set a benchmark first. So we are going to copy paste one of the strongest team and set a benchmark. So right here, I think Talin at one copy should be okay. Yeah, later on we will replace Talin with Harak and then see how it goes. So let's start. So against Skyclops, I think Harak's actually pretty good, because the wings that the Skyclops summon will actually allow us to see like this, whether or not this like defeat an enemy is gonna reset itself multiple times when you defeat each of the summons itself. Yeah, because like we have these additional units to be devoured. We can't devour the boss, right? So, but we can devour the mini summons, and then we can also defeat the mini summons to proc Harak's skill set itself. By the way, this is one copy Talin. So I'll compare a one copy Talin damage to a one copy Harak later on to benchmark like units of similar tiers. Yeah, if Harak's damage output at one copy can actually defeat Lily May, then this unit is 100% broken. But I highly doubt so, because Lily May's damage output is like really top tier. So right now, let's run through the details. Okay, so Talin at one copy around this damage range, and then Lily May around this damage range. Now let's go into Harak. So one thing that like is good for Harak with this boss is that I think for Harak's case, right, because we have the mini summons to defeat, we are able to actually proc tidal assault more, and we are also able to proc this feast mode extension a lot more, because assisting or defeat a unit resets the duration. So by the time the next wave of the summons come up, this skill will be able to maintain itself without eating your own ally. So if we have a full team with this buff on, I think there's a possibility that we do more damage. So let's start. Okay, exact same positioning, the only difference is changing out Talin for Harak. And both of them are one copy, so we'll see how he performs. Dive. Oh yeah, okay, so you can see that he's like jumping around with the tidal assault. So that skill is really good with dealing with the summons, because you defeat one, he jumps into the next one, and then if you defeat another one, he will jump into the next one from the reset of the skill. Wait, did he just eat? Oh, he just ate Mikola and Smokey here. Okay. Wait, what happened? Okay, I gotta skip this. We gotta see the final damage, and then we see what happened there. Okay, not impressive. And so why? Because he ate the supports itself, right? We're gonna go at one time. I wanna see what happened there. So purple aura is when he have the feast mode. Okay. Slap. So we keep track of the timer around 77 seconds, 78 seconds. That's where he will exit the feast mode. Oh, he ate Mikola. Okay, so like we have to pay attention to the timing because his skill is about 12 seconds, right? So around 76 mark, he ate Mikola. But why though? There's a summon on the battlefield. Why did he eat Mikola? Okay. Yeah, so he ate Mikola here. And then the next one is around 60 plus seconds. So we keep track of the timing once again. So Mikola got eaten. Continues to do damage to the boss. I think about now. Yeah, he's gonna exit his feast mode. Yeah, so he jumps to Smokey and then eats Smokey here. Okay. Okay, so I see a few problems with this unit. You can actually use him as a solo carry and feature like not so spectacular support units. But like the thing about the Devourer is that you can't really control which target he go after, right? I guess we need more time to test whether or not we can control the units he go after. But then we still have that Fresto illusion which he didn't eat. So that's one thing which I'm actually very interested to find out, whether or not he'll eat Fresto's illusion. We know that he won't eat summon, but Fresto's very first illusion is technically not considered summon because of the coding side of things. Okay, so I think over here he defeated the wings, so he resetted the feast mode. So I think his kit, right, is gonna base around whether or not the stat gain that he gets from finishing. Okay, he ate up the illusion, so it's possible. So the illusion is considered a unit there. Okay. Okay, then he died, unfortunately. So that's why we lost quite a bit of damage. Okay, so and you just off the looks of it, right? I see this character being insanely good if the EX weapon stat buff is crazy, because right, his kit revolves around eating people up. So if you eat your own ally, you are trading your synergies for additional stats on him. So this ability over here must be crazy good, right, to outweigh that like stat loss or that buff loss that your supports have to offer. Because for example, when he ate up Mikola at the start of battle, what happens is you lose that very powerful courage fear buff on your Fresto as well as your other frontline units. And another thing about this skill is that you can't really control who you eat, right? Because Tana loses control and indiscriminately devours the weakest non-summon unit. So I think by HP terms, just now the order goes like this, right? Mikola probably has the lowest HP, and then Smokey, and then followed by the illusion of Fresto. Okay. So in the Dream Realm side of things, I think in most cases you will be eating your own ally. And whether or not he will be good in Dream Realm depends on whether or not this stat gain is going to make him the hyper carry. Yeah, because you will lose a lot of team synergies. You will lose a lot of buff, but you gain a whole bunch of stats on himself. And then you also get this like enhanced force ability as Supreme Plus, because once you defeat 2 of your own allies or 2 units in general, you are able to recover energy to spam your Vicious Bite, which has a lot of damage potential because of the damage to HP ratio, as well as that additional HP loss on the enemy itself. Yeah. Okay, so that is the Dream Realm side. Doesn't look that good, but I think it's partially because we don't have like the OP part of his skill at the back. And we don't have this one as well. I think this 2 is incredibly OP. Yeah. Especially this one. 2.6 times of his own stats. Because his skill will be scaled up 2.6 times as well. Okay, so now let's move on to 1 copy arena testing. We just do 1 copy and see how it works out. Okay. Let's go here. We go with somebody that's, yeah, we're not going to beat this guy. So we are going to go with somebody that's a little bit weaker. Okay, and see how it works out here. Now, there's an Iron on the opposite end. Do I want to actually... Okay, I think I want to make him the carry. So I want to sort of like make him as tanky as possible so we can see as much. So we're just gonna do this. Okay, enters feast mode. Okay, Coco gets the ultimate off. My Coco's ultimate got cancelled, unfortunately. But right here, we dive to the enemy and we instantaneously control the Iron over here. So this Iron cannot be killed, but oh my god, he got bursted here. Okay. Okay, if that's the case, right, I do see another problem with him, because he does have that lifesteal and he does have that ability to get stats, but the thing is he still doesn't have that unaffected at the start of battle, so there is a potential that you can burst him down as well. So those are the few observations I get from this unit, but I do feel that he has the potential to be this mega carry, because this skill over here is really incredible and it's scalable because he can get stats off defeating a unit. And one more thing is, if there's a way to sort of make sure that you eat the right unit, or make sure that your team is not the weakest unit on the battlefield, you can just eat up the opponent's unit instead. For example, like let's say if your opponent sends in a torrent, I think that's like the most like common example and the most feasible example. For example, your opponent has a torrent, right? The torrent comes in, you know, usually what torrent does is like torrent will actually go really low in HP because he will absorb a lot of damage and then he return the damage itself. That's where his this biting or devour of the weakest non-summon unit will be really OP, because you just bite away the torrent and he cannot revive. Right, so that is something to take a look out for. And another thing to consider is this skill over here, because this skill is a assassin-like skill which goes after the weakest enemy, which helps you pinpoint like the weaker enemy to chain into the other skills itself. So those are the few things that I can think for Harak. I do think that he has a potential, but we need to wait until we are able to get him on the Supreme Plus tier or my main account to just do more testing of that. So we'll stay tuned, right? Stay tuned for the Supreme Plus testing. I'll also try like a 1-copy testing for him in the next few hours, in the next few days, and then be releasing a video to talk about it. And that's it for this video. Just a first impression, first look at this new Hypogean character in the game itself. Thank you very much for tuning in, and I'll see you guys again in my next video. Bye guys!